There's something very special about hearing Chaitanya Leela. Something really, really special about Chaitanya Leela. It's like the Lord's incarnations are all wonderful. They're all wonderful because it's Krishna and his different pastimes and incarnations in different ages. But his appearance as Lord Chaitanya is really, really special for us because this is the incarnation that's appearing according to our time, place, and circumstance. It's very, very special. It's like this particular incarnation of the Lord has come for us. $500 ago, that's not very long. 500 years. That's not very long at all. I mean, there are some people that are right now 100 years old. My father's almost 100 years old. So 500 years is not very long at all. It's just the other day, yesterday. So this is continue reading from the Advaita Prakasha. These are pastimes in Chaitanya Leela. And Ishana Nagara is a disciple of Advaita Acharya. And here in this chapter, chapter 11, he's describing the appearance of Lord Chaitanya. Ma Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharni Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paskitari Satarni. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to Sri Chaitanya, all glories to Sitanath, and all glories to Nityananda, along with all the devotees. Now, I will briefly describe the main branches of the desire tree of Shri Advaita. At an auspicious moment, Mother Sita underwent the Garbhadan purificatory process for begetting a good child. On hearing this, the devotees became very joyful. Thereafter, Sita Devi gave birth to a child at an auspicious moment on the full moon day of the month of Vaishakha, April-May, in the year 1492. The child's matchless beauty captivated everyone, and people exclaimed, "We have never seen such a handsome child. Perhaps he is a demigod." One astrologer, after calculation, said, "This child was formerly a gopi of Rajadam. He has taken a male form in order to teach people. You can be sure that he will be renounced from his very childhood." On hearing this, the devotees became absorbed in loving devotion and assembled together to perform Sankirtan. Some of them danced, some cried in ecstatic love. Advaita Prabhu roared and chanted, "Haribol." When Advaita Prabhu roared, it was like the rumbling of a cloud. Gauranga also came to know about the appearance of his devotee. In due course of time, Advaita Prabhu invited the Brahmins to perform the name-giving ceremony of his son. After the priest came, made his calculation, he said, "This son of yours is certainly uncommon. Krishna is his life and soul. He gets delight only in Krishna consciousness. Therefore I name him Achyutananda." On hearing this name, the devotees loudly chanted the name of the Lord. The ladies happily made auspicious sounds. Huludvani. Ooh, they go like that. The devotion to Krishna exhibited by Achyutananda was like that of the gopis of Vrindavan, and therefore saintly persons call him Achyuta Shaki. After some days, Advaita Prabhu held the rice-giving ceremony for Achyutananda. Advaita Prabhu offered foodstuffs to Madan Gopal and then offered prasad to his son. The Brahmins and Vaishnavas were also given prasad along with cloths and money, and being pleased in this way, they all blessed the child. On an auspicious day after Achyutananda attained the age of 5, Advaita Prabhu taught him his first lesson. My mother arrived in Shantipur on the same day that Achyuta began his education. She took shelter at the feet of Advaita. I was 5 years old at the time. Advaita Prabhu mercifully gave my mother the Krishna mantra, and he purified me by giving me harinam. Sita Devi showed her affection to me and brought me up like her own son. My mother always followed the instructions of her guru. Some of those incidents I still remember. Advaita Prabhu once said, "The mother of Ishana is very pious. In due course she will attain Vaikuntha." Now, listen to a wonderful event that happened when Mother Sita had her second son. At the end of the night, on the 13th day of the dark moon of the month of Madhu, March-April, in the year 1496, Sita Devi gave birth to a wonderful son whose divine form resembled that of a demigod. Now hear what happened at that time by the arrangement of Providence. Sri Thakurani gave birth to a son at the same time. Her child, however, died at the time of birth. So Mother Shri began to cry. Mother Sita also began to cry, and she said to Advaita, "I cannot bear to see my sister's lamentation. Though she gave birth to a child, Providence was cruel to her and took the child away. If you are agreeable and give consent, then I will give my son to my sister." Advaita Prabhu said, "Your desire is very nice. That will certainly help mitigate Shri's distress." Sita wiped away her tears and said to Shri, don't cry, sister, be peaceful. I will give you this son of mine, and people will know him as your son." Saying this, Sita placed her son on Shri's lap. Mother Shri then gave up her lamentation and breastfed the child. No one knows these confidential topics except my mother and 3 other persons. Padmanabha Chakravarti received Advaita Prabhu's mercy, so he knew these topics. One morning, a Brahmin astrologer came and said in a gentle voice, "This second son of Shri Advaita Chandra has taken birth to protect Krishna's devotional service. As Kartikeya, the commander-in-chief of the demigod, he protects the heavenly planets. That 6-headed commander has now appeared as the son of Advaita." The devotees were overjoyed to hear this, and they began dancing and chanting the name of Harih. In due course of time, Advaita Prabhu joyfully brought a priest to perform the name-giving ceremony. The Brahmin astrologer made some calculations and said, "Everyone should know that this child will be a great scholar. He will be indifferent to material enjoyment and always absorbed in the service of Krishna and the Vaishnavas. Therefore I name him Krishnadas." The devotees became blissful. The devotees were overjoyed to hear this, and they began dancing and chanting the name of Harih. In due course of time, Advaita Prabhu joyfully brought a priest to perform the name-giving ceremony. Oh, excuse me, the computer, it's a little hard to see sometimes. So the child was named Krishnadas. The devotees became blissful on hearing this, and they passed the day engaged in Sankirtan. Thereafter, Advaita Prabhu chose an auspicious day to hold the rice-giving ceremony for Krishnadas. Advaita first offered bhoga to Madan Gopal, and then gave the prasad to his son. Afterwards, Advaita devotedly fed the Brahmins and Vaishnavas, and then he distributed food to the blind and poor. He honored everyone with cloths and money, and they all blessed the child before returning home. Advaita Prabhu began Krishnadas's education at the appropriate auspicious time. Please listen now to the wonderful description about how Advaita's third son appeared. On the 12th day of the waxing moon in the month of Kartik, October-November, in the year 1500, Sita Devi gave birth to another son. From the time of his birth, the child appeared wonderful by closing his eyes as if dead. On seeing this, my Prabhu roared out the name of Gauri like a ferocious lion. As the name of Gauri entered the child's ears, he opened his eyes and tears of love flowed. All the devotees joyfully chanted the holy names, and the ladies all made auspicious sounds of huludvani. At that time, one Brahmin astrologer came there and calculated the newborn child's birth chart. He then told everyone, "Shri Ganesh is present here as the third son of Advaita. He has taken birth to remove all obstacles. Indeed, just by seeing him, people will attain devotional service." The assembled devotees were overjoyed to hear this, and they spent the rest of the day performing Sankirtan. Thereafter, Advaita Prabhu invited a priest to perform his son's name-giving ceremony. The Brahmin said, "This child will be a servant of Lord Krishna, so I name him Gopal Das." Now, listen to the narration of Gopal's uncommon activities. By hearing such topics, one can attain the devotional service of Lord Krishna. When the devotees performed Sankirtan, Gopal would stop drinking milk and listen. He would then shed tears, giggle, and repeatedly roll his eyes as if intoxicated. When the kirtan stopped, his mood would change and he would begin to cry and drink his mother's milk. Learned persons understand that these are natural symptoms of an eternal servant of Krishna, but ignorant persons will never understand. I have thus described in brief the birth of 3 of Advaita Prabhu's sons for the benefit of the people of the world. Praying at the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya, Shri Advaita, always desiring their mercy, I, Ishana Nagara, narrate Shri Chaitanya Prakasha.